Our next speech comes from Joe Kaemmerlen, one of our newbies. Joe is doing the leadership development pathway. He's on level 2 already, doing the leadership, understanding your leadership style speech. The speech title is When You Play the Game of Thrones, You Win or You Die. Joe Kaemmerlen, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Thank you, Brandy, and good afternoon, my fellow Toastmasters and hypothetical guest. This speech is about leadership styles, and as a former TA, I've been privileged to have gone through several of these types of exercises previously. I am an INTJ who moonlights as an ENTJ. I'm a max thinker and max judger, which basically means I am a robot. I'm a long-term planner. Like Hannibal from the A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together. I've had that queued up 8:13 this morning. A big picture plan based on rules somewhat conflicts with my highly collaborative communication style, which is also reflected in my Toastmasters leadership style, democratic. So despite my internal decision making being primarily facts over feelings, I acknowledge that I need to empathize with folks to get them on board. So as I'm going through this Discover Your Leadership Style process, I found myself answering the survey question based on different aspects of my life and realized that there's a trickle-down effect. I recognize the unique emotional needs of my three very different daughters, and I try to take on extra tasks when I hear a teammate throw their keyboard across the room. I am absolutely committed to building community. So instead of going through the minutiae of the styles, let me tell you a story on exactly how I betraying those I lead. I am an avid strategy board game player. Risk, Settlers of Catan, Monopoly, Pandemic, you name it, I'll play it. My favorite board game is the Game of Thrones, the board game second edition. One game takes 4 to 5 hours to determine a winner. It is highly complex with multiple resources to manage, limited areas to control, and at least 2 immediate areas of conflict with other players. It requires 5 additional people to compete with. And getting 5 other people willing to learn a complicated game and spend half a day playing is no easy task. It requires building a community and a leader willing to put forth the effort. Enter the intern class of 2013. There was a core group of folks who started their professional careers at that time. Most had ties to UNC Charlotte, but all of us had this glowing excitement to start our professional lives. Throughout the intern summer and into the first TA rotations, we built a community. We had a designated lunch spot in the cafeteria where we met at least once a week. There were days when I had laughed so hard I had tears going down my eyes. This quickly evolved into monthly get-togethers for game nights, and we rotated to each other's homes. I generally got the process rolling by reaching out to others to begin to identify a mutually acceptable appointment. We would use a scheduling website to determine the best day and time. One incredibly kind individual paid for a brand new copy of the game, and at $75, it was very much appreciated. This is heavy. Not long after, one particular game session was so epic that it will continue to be sung in the Hall of Valhalla. This was an all-day event of tenderized meat, authentic chili poblanos, numerous beverages of choice, team building, brotherhood, and backstabbing, with a dash of figuring out all of life's challenges at the end. You see, this game requires you to make overt alliances, yet allows for surprise Black Ops orders. This day became a wild, emotional roller coaster. There was an actual declaration of fealty while kneeling in front of another player. There was an accusation of being Switzerland during World War II, which led to a permanent banning of this person who bought the game. Appeasement never works. And in this sense, military appeasement when you would try to pay off somebody for not attacking you. It never worked. Rule arguing became a weapon. The atmosphere got so charged that I eventually had to write a code of conduct, which was then read aloud between each new game session. Despite the contentious nature of the game, it formed bonds amongst the players. You had this group of folks who were growing together by building trust and then having a game where to win, you had to take their property. You had secret strategy shared, private text messages being sent around the table, shifting alliances, all in order to prevent someone from winning. If you understand the concept of blue shelling from Mario Kart, pointing out that a player is in the lead is actually a good and effective tactic to get other players to attack that person in the lead. As a more experienced and cutthroat person, I naturally won most of the early games. The week after a clandestine maneuver, lunch was silent. Feelings ranged from smug gloating to determined revenge to sore losing, questioning of manhood, all until the next game night was planned. Then starting positions were revealed, new alliances were forged, grudges were held, new players were found. Everyone got a turn to host and lead. Not everyone won. In fact, there's a person on this very call who after 20 sessions still has not been declared the winner. There is no high greater than snatching victory away from another player with one final move, and no greater low than watching your inevitable defeat because you overlooked one minor yet important detail. So if you enjoy good food, good competition, and appreciate complex strategies required to crush your enemies, contact me. I still host game sessions with these guys despite all of them have left TIA. And we are always welcoming fresh blood. Because when you play the Game of Thrones, the board game, second edition, you win or you die. Thank you.